That snaps for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
Brandon,
We
you want one
can't,
quick question?
we can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.
This was something. A jazz pianist, Matthew Shipp, he slams André 3000 for his new improvisational. Is that how you say it? Improv piano EP. So for those of you who didn't know, 3 Stacks André 3000 dropped a new album. It's a piano album. And on the whole thing, he's improving. If you can tell, what is this not letting me scroll down? Jeez Louise. He's improving on the whole thing. But on this one, he says something at the beginning. He like says the title of the song. Let me see. He says the title of the song. And the title of the like 7 piano sketches, Bluffing in the Snow. And then I think the second one is called like, and then you'll, but he says the title of the songs for at least the first 2 songs. I haven't heard the full album, but that's what he says. And that's more words than he had on the last album, the Flute album. So to promote it, it came out the same Monday as the Met Gala, and he wore the piano on his back. And that's how he promoted it. Earlier this week, André 3000, who wrote this story? Danielle Chelosky. Shout out to Danielle. Earlier this week, André 3000 surprise dropped an improvisational improv album. I'll just say improv piano EP, and showed up to the. Hold on, no. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna look up how to pronounce it. I'm gonna do it the right way, guys. I'm gonna do it the right way. Improvisational.
Improvisational.
Improvisational. Okay. Improvisational piano EP, and showed up to the Met Gala with an entire piano on his back. It serves as the follow-up to his 2023 flute album, New Blue Sun, but the jazz pianist Matthew Shipp is not a fan. In a Facebook post, Shipp ranted about the 7 piano sketches as complete utter crap and does not even deserve the attention of a critique. It is so dreadful. Goodness gracious, this is what he wrote. So a friend of mine called me up and mentioned that André 3000 had a piano album out. I was like, what? He put a period. He didn't even put a question mark. I checked it out on YouTube. My impression of it. I think it is complete and utter crap. Horrific, god-awful, inspidily, wretch nothing. Hold on. Let me see how to pronounce this. Insipidly. Excuse me.
Insipidly.
Horrific, god awful, insipidly wretched nothing. Oh my effing gosh. This is some atrocious ish. Is he some type of effing a-hole? Is he complete and utter dilettante? Hold on, let me see how to pronounce this.
Dilettante.
Is he a complete and utter dilettante? I could go into detail about why each cut is stillborn, but why bother? It does not even deserve the attention of a critique. It is so dreadful. The guy is not a pianist. That is the beginning and the end of it. What an ugly piano sound. Let's not even talk about telling a story with harmony. Sounds like he's listening to a bunch of music, gets a couple gestures in his head, sits down in the stream of consciousness and gets at some gesture for a few bars, something that he has not internalized and barely knows on the most superficial level. And then he loses a thread of course. There is zero composition going on in the improvisations. No language to speak of, just a few cliches in his head that he actually can't play the cliche, but he hits and tries at it until he peters out quickly. Wow, he is so horrible at playing harmony. So many horn players that piano is not their instrument play so much better. This sounds to me like a pure fraud. What a lack of respect for the discipline by someone who is, in my opinion, is a complete a-hole for doing this. It is suppressing that this garbage will get any attention because his name and his fame. There is nothing refreshing about it. The nativity of it, the nativity of it. It is just downright dreadful and awful, true effing crap. It is inspitable, wretched nothing. To be fair, André 3000 clarified in an EP announcement that he was playing without the intention of releasing them. These piano sketches are improvisations. To conjure them up, I spread my fingers out to the keys and randomly, but with purpose, move them around until I find something that feels good or interesting, he wrote. If it feels really good, I will try to repeat it. I cannot name which notes, keys, or chords that I'm playing. I simply like the sound of the mechanics of the piano playing. Some of my favorite piano music producers, composers, and players that inspire me are Thelonious Monk, McCoy Tyner, Philip Glass, Stefan Soldham, Johnny Mitchell, and Vince Guardi. So a friend of mine called me up to mention, okay, who's Matt Shipp? Let's see who this guy is. This is Matt Shipp. 5K friends. Not to belabor, but I'm really curious how this thought process works. So I've never played tuba before. I'm so glad I went to his Facebook page. He's still going. Not to belabor this, but I really thought I was curious about how this thought process works. So I've never played tuba before. So let's say I was thinking about making a solo tuba album. I have no idea how to play tuba, but I'm an artist and I want to express myself. Would you buy my solo tuba album? If I was to make a solo tuba album and get a record company to put it out, hire a really great publicist to promote it and really put it in marketplace and consumption and discussion, maybe go to the Met and take photos with a tuba. Now, some of you might think I have such an interesting musical mind that you might buy it, even though I do not play tuba. You think that you still might be able to do something interesting. Now, I have a name and a fan base, so based on my name, I guess I could put it out. Some record company might do it. Now, if I was anyone without a name and walked into a record company and said, I do not play tuba and I want to make a solo tuba album, I assume they would say no. But since I do have a name, one of my record companies might say yes. You never know. So as a quote unquote artist, all caps, should I expect the public to say, quote unquote, he's expressing himself and trying new things playing tuba? This is how I felt about Lil Yachty's album. Oh, hold on. I'm not even sharing this tab. The whole time. I'm so sorry. You guys missed out on the goods. This is how I felt about Lil Yachty's album, bro. It was like people were like, oh, it's so dope. He's doing something different. And I'm like, it's not good. Like Igor was different for a rapper. 808s and Heartbreak was different for a rapper, which is crazy seeing that old Tyler the Creator letter when he said this isn't no 808s and heartbeat or break crap. Like it's crazy because he made Igor, which is his 808s and Heartbreak. Anyway, regardless, the Let's Start Here was not good for me. However, I will say this. Running in on my mind, I just can't drive away. You drive me crazy. I listen. That is a good song. Drive Me Crazy is a great song. Lil Yachty, you did the thing. On that album, you did the thing with that. But the rest of the album, trash. Respectfully, bro. And I rock with Lil Yachty's music. Like, I think he makes some great rap songs. He's had a great renaissance with the Tesla and the solo Creep Boy Step In and the Concrete Boys thing and everything like that. I was rocking with it. You know, like I'm huge on Kara. Kara's my favorite rapper. So when they were cool and stuff like that, it was just I loved it all, bro. But as of right now, but with that Let's Start Here and all the alternative music that he's going out of his way to do, to prove a point that he's an artist and he's more than a SoundCloud rapper, and this, like, it's trash, bro. It's not good. I appreciate the efforts to try something different, but just because you try something different shouldn't give us like he's an artist. That's a whack excuse, because if anybody else did it, you call it trash. So I get what Matthew Shipp is saying. All right. He's expressing himself to try new things at tuba. Hi, I am Matthew Shipp, a noted jazz pianist. Therefore, I should expect people to dig the fact that I'm expressing myself on tuba despite the fact that I cannot play it. Should I really expect the privilege of being Matthew Shipp to carry the day and everyone dig it that I'm expressing myself? This is a thought experiment, quote unquote. But we all know the answer to this. And if I did a solo tuba album, even though I don't play tuba, we all know the reception would be. The only reason I typed this is a reaction to a couple things that people said on a post that I did before this. I'm gonna laugh at it because I laughed at it. I will say though, Andre 3000 is like one of the biggest inspirations to me ever in life. And I'm pretty sure every black kid from Atlanta or the South around my age will say the exact same thing. Like he is so inspirational. He's so important. He did the class of 3000 sang na 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 na. To see a cartoon on Cartoon Network at a time where I was a kid in elementary school in 6th grade, 5th grade, going into the 6th grade, and 6th grade going into the 7th grade, to see a cartoon like that talk about the streets and the neighborhoods that were in my city because he was from the same city as me and he made Hey Y'all when I was in 3rd grade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Andre 3000 is just like the coolest dude ever to me, bro. I have so much respect for him and everything like that. However, this is funny. The last 24 hours have been out to say that the least being a jazz musician and the center of a story involving an extremely famous hip hop artist. I never expected it to go as viral as it did. I stand by what I said. And if I made a hip hop album, I'm sure it would get raked over by the cools as a rapper not playing piano like I did at Anti Pop Conservatorium. The difference here is money and social power. I am told Andre was hanging out at the Vision Festival a bunch. I think I saw him, but I don't remember. All I ask is that since we are dedicated to the praxis of this particular art form, and since we have dedicated everything to it, and do it for peanuts compared to the money in his world, for someone like him to get respect, the unbelievable amount of work and sacrifice that goes into this, unbelievable, beyond comprehension. Actually, we have no support system to speak of, no infrastructure, nothing but pure hard work, determination, and a calling. No management in my case, despite how far I've come. We have a patchwork of record labels, most who have very little money. The fact that they say William Parker and myself make a living, even though we are not rich, and keep growing as an artist, dealing with all of this is a miracle. I choose this so I have no regret in the fact that I'm extremely pleased with how things have unfolded. I'm sure Andre is a great guy, and I am also sure that there is no ill intent whatsoever. He did an interview with New York Times about talking about the thing, and he was saying he was hoping that his kind of going into the world of jazz and musicality and instrumental and everything like that, and starting off not knowing what he's doing and admitting he doesn't know what he's doing. He was saying that he was hoping that light would bring kind of shine a light to the instrumentalists and the musicians who do know what they're doing and have been doing it for a long time. Like the people he worked on New Blue Sun with was a band and artists that, I've never heard of before because I don't listen to jazz in my leisure time, or at least modern day jazz. Anything beyond like Dave Burbank is like stuff that's over my head, but I think he has accomplished that. Like I was there at the Atlanta Jazz Festival, with my own eyes, where he brings out 300, 500,000 people at Piedmont Park to hear him just improv and just kind of BS, for lack of a better term, on the flute for 2 hours, right? But we all did it because we respect Andre that much. But in that, bringing all the people to the park to watch him play the flute and improv on it for 2 hours, you had 100,000 people there for the other artists, and maybe 150,000 and 200,000 for the artists before him. So what I mean, like, I do think what he's doing, like him saying this, but I also get what Matt Shipp is saying. Matt Shipp is saying, like, I work hard for this and I don't get any money for it. And so for you to kind of like crap on our genre and what we do just because you want to, oh wow. It gets better. I'm sure he's a great guy, and I'm also sure there's no ill intent whatsoever. I should not have used the word a-hole, but I stand by what else I said. He's an amazing hip-hop artist. All I'm asking is that he respect the art of people who can really do a certain thing. When I wrote what I wrote, I did not check out his liners. His liners. Why should I? I'm reacting to music. I think I'm in love again. Shout out to Andre 3000. If he's going through some midlife crisis, which I hear he talks about often, I feel for you. But jazz musicians have no room for midlife crisis. If you are stuck to your life purpose and you are lucky by a midlife, you might start reaping some of the rewards of your unbelievable dedication. Quote them, and now in all caps, maybe. But most of the dedicated of us keep going anyway. Seeing him with the piano on his back, which looked like to me was a fashion statement, then putting out a bad piano improv album from the premise of a rich guy with social power whose bad improv album will get more attention than any album I do, took me out. I can't lie about that, especially given that my CD last year, New Concepts of a Piano Trio Jazz, I truly believe is some of the greatest trio CDs in history. You might think, hey, Matt, it is a really good CD, but come on. But that is not the point, and that is my opinion of the CD. So when I saw the photo of Andre, all I saw, or the image of what came to my mind, is a smug puppy who is not willing to put in the work, but who has some money and influence. I did not say that what he is. I said that is the image that came to my mind when I saw the piano and heard the music. Again, I assume he is a tremendous person, but this society is so full of what I described here and often by nice people. I want to shout out this jazz album. It came out last year. And I know I said I don't listen to modern jazz, but I listened to this album last year and I really liked it. From Caxo Kubu Moto Avayo. I guess it's Brazilian, but it was really good. I really like that jazz album. Let me see anything else. I think the transition from improvisational, Steve Sullivan commented this, thus pigeonholing you mightily pianist to hip hop is vastly different than any other way around. Speaking of which, when are we going to get a album collab with DJ Spooky? He said was done in 2003. Dang. When I went on a rant on Facebook, I did not expect it to go viral. I was mad, yes. And I did it on any kind of sort of dare from a friend through dare. It's not the word, though dare is not the word. But anyways, when I was walking home from my practice place today, I was stopped by some younger graffiti office type people on St. Mark's who are really into hip hop. I know some of them from the bookstore, the Village Works, and they were like, wow, what you said about Andre. And so I asked them, how did they even know, given that I know none of them are my Facebook friends? And they told me I had gone viral and there was a Reddit thing about it. Also, I Googled Andre without my name, and this article came up on Google News. Plus, if you go down to the part what people are saying, the Reddit thing is the first thing. Believe me, I rather spend my time thinking about chord voicings. And yes, seeing a rapper who can't play piano doing a solo piano album. This is so rewarding reading this. I'm so glad I went to his Facebook page. Type that instantly gets as much attention as his album seems to be getting did raise my hair. Even though I'm not shy about self-promotion, I would rather be thinking about the beautiful worlds of sound than to be elicited from the piano. So this is like literally welcome to the world of hip-hop. I love how much you didn't bother to finish that last sentence. Matt Shipp, bro. I love Gerald Albert's solo on Patrice Russian's Forget Me Nots. I guess no surprise here since I love 80s dance music. But from the Grover on those guys who really had soul. And am I talking about people who might have been considered maybe at the beginning of smooth jazz? I'm not a historian of that genre. When did things change? One function of avant-garde to keep the mainstream artist. One function of the mainstream is to keep the avant-garde honest. It could be very strange to do anything based on substance in the world and the culture so debased. But I guess this is why we are called to do it. This is exactly the same thing that Tyler Creator, going back to Tyler Creator, did with Ian. He was like, yo, like we have to protect our art. Like it can't just be a thing. You know, we made the joke on Twitter about like once you get older as a rapper, it's time to make jazz. It's time to just go to jazz because that's like older, mature people music. And so Andre 3000 did that. And now the jazz people are like, you can't just come to us when you're old. It's like what black people, specifically Tyler Creator, did with Ian. It's like white people can't just come to rap music when they feel like being black and being cool. Justin Bieber just can't choose to say what the hell he and hang out with Sexy Red when he wants to and he's bored with his wife. Can't just choose to be opium when he wants to because he got bored. Let me see. Oh, so this is the Andre 3000. All right. So there's that. There's that. I'm so glad that I went to Matt Shipp's Facebook page. And yeah. All right, bet. And shout out to Danielle for writing this, for putting this on my radar. Okay, with that being said, I don't even want to do that other thing. So I'm gonna just go skip to this. AK
That's for losers, man. I don't get involved in that stuff, but
Angel Rashad Milligan rolling out.
That's a good question.
We can't ask Rashad questions.
Hey, Rashad.